Thousands of Tunisians protest, each feeling desperate and frustrated. This week, their feelings have boiled onto the streets. The coronavirus pandemic has crippled their fragile economy, leaving a third of young Tunisians unemployed. They blame the government for their problems.
There is a feeling of deep disappointment with the pandemic. May God protect us from it, poverty, unemployment and the situation we are living in as young people.
Now the protests have morphed to include police brutality and unlawful detentions. This man says more than 600 protesters have been arrested, most in their home, and asks why. Protesters are demanding their release. They say this is a government-ordered crackdown.
To the politicians, I say one thing. If you have something to say, don't say it with the police. Go out to the people and face them.
The Prime Minister responded in a televised address.
I'm
well aware that there is anger and frustration in many areas. I know that the economic and social situation is a crisis deepened by COVID and the measures we have taken to preserve the health of Tunisians. Your voice is heard and your anger is legitimate, and it is my role and the government's to work to realise your demands and to make the dream of Tunisia become true.
Frustrations have rippled across multiple Tunisian cities this week, from the capital Tunis south to Sfax, and in the west, here in Kasserine. The rights group Amnesty International has warned against excessive use of force. Yet at night, protests have evolved into running street battles between demonstrators and police. The government has deployed the army in several cities and rolled out a curfew to quell the clashes. The demonstrations come just days after the 10-year anniversary of the ouster of former President Zain Al Abidine Ben Ali, a result of protests that birthed the Arab Spring. But many Tunisians feel disenchanted, saying the hope of that time has gone unrealised.
In 10 years, there's no strategy or prospects for the future or even hope for change. On the contrary, every year the amount of hope decreases. Today, in 2021, practically all young people are just desperate.
And so they turn to the streets for answers, just like they did a decade ago. Charlotte Bellis, Al Jazeera.